Hello everyone, and welcome back to another one of our fine videos. Today we are going to be on VATSIM with something a little bit higher performance. We're going to be flying the Lima 39. We're down here in Oxford, Connecticut, and we're going to be popping up to Bradley International Airport, which should be a pretty interesting exercise for us, only on account of the fact that it's going to be a much higher speed airplane. And of course, when we're doing circuits, we're also going to be at a different altitude, which makes things a little bit different today. So right now, of course, we're down here. There's no tower control or anything like that. We've already confirmed the ATIS and everything. And it's just a matter of kind of getting going here. So I'm going to give it a little bit of tap of gas. And again, we've already joined the VATSIM network. We've got our transponder going at 1200 right now. So everything is looking pretty darn groovy. Like I said, nothing too chaotic today. It's just a matter of going easy on some of these sort of components. Yep, just checking my transponder one last time. So as we're on the ground here, we're going to be contacting Unicom to sort of let everybody know. I've already checked the map about 1,000 times to confirm that there's nothing else going on around us. So what I'm going to do is dial in 1228 on my little handy dandy radio here. One thing I do have, which is really nice, is an external radio set. And you can see I've switched over. Actually, that did not switch over. I'm on COM2. I do that every time, I swear. Go over 122.8, which is kind of the universal little frequency for this one. 80, just like that. I'm going to go switch over. The next frequency I'm going to need, of course, is going to be 12030. And if you're wondering where I got that from, that is at Bradley's Tower. We don't currently have any approach controllers or anything along those lines. So this is kind of a nice little opportunity to kind of test things a little bit, kind of get a feel for it. So again, making our way down there. I'm just kind of going to give everybody a little heads up. And like I said, this should be interesting for us. It's a very short flight. It's about 8 minutes. That's the one advantage to being in a jet is you don't go slow. So like I said, it should be pretty easy here. Active traffic 100 Papa Golf is taxiing via Alpha. Oxford traffic. So the reason that's kind of fun, of course, is we're not 6-4 today. We are 100 Papa Golf. The reason I chose that one today is just make things a little bit easier for us. And yes, we'll bumble that a few times as I'm trying to record and think and say at the same time, rather than just concentrating on flying the plane the way you normally do. But hey, that's part of the fun. And as you would know from listening in the real world, people goof stuff up all the time. It's just part of the fun, as I like to say. And again, that's why we do it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of one of those things. Luckily for us today, we have a very long runway, which makes it very easy for us to get airborne. I'm rushing pretty quick on the ground. We wouldn't normally go this fast, but again, that makes it a little bit easier. Cruise altitude today is going to be 3,500 feet, which we have to do manually because we have no automatic pilot or anything. I've already checked with ATIS over at Bradley. You can actually check it digitally now, which is really awesome. ATIS Information Ocker, aka Information Oscar. So that gives us the opportunity to kind of have that conversation there once we get a little bit closer. When we get there, what we're going to do is going to get a touch and go with closed traffic, and then what we're going to do is come around to full stop, and we're going to park up at Signature today. Just basically give ourselves enough room, kind of enough experience for those of you who are not confident with VATSIM to kind of know what's going on and sort of what to expect. I love flights like this in VATSIM because you don't have to stress out about getting in the air. You have to stress out when you get there, which is where the real fun is. And we can see we're holding short of 1.8 here. I'm going to go ahead and tap the brake, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and check to make sure there's nobody in the approach, check to make sure there's nobody in the pattern. You always want to be very careful about this to make sure you're not missing any little details. So that's looking pretty darn good right now. So I'm pretty happy with that. So 12030. Make sure my traffic and radio and all that other good stuff is set up correctly. I really don't want to embarrass myself by being on the wrong frequency. I've done that about 1,000 times in the real world, and they will tell you in the real world, by the way. Actual traffic, 100 Papa Golf is holding short of 1.8 on Bravo, about to take off. South departure, we're going to do left traffic, and then head up to north to Bradley. Oxford traffic. That's basically what we're doing. So we're going to do it. One general tip, whenever you're operating anytime online, please turn lights on. And you can see we've got most of that stuff already kind of on. And it just makes it much safer for people to be able to see you in VATSIM, depending kind of on what environment they're flying in. So I'm going to go ahead and gently taxi over here, keep things nice and simple for this particular purpose. Again, I'm going to kind of go out nice and wide here, kind of swing this way. Again, line it up one more thing. Of course, we never want to hang out on the runway too long, but I absolutely want to make sure everything is what I need it to be. That looks good to me, that looks good to me, and that looks good to me. I just want to make sure that's going. And let's go ahead. Whee! Love it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to rip down this runway. Conventional takeoff. Extra traffic 100 Papa Golf is taking off runway 18 and to a left downwind for Oxford. What we're going to do now is we're just going to lift that nose up nice and gentle. We're going to get some nice air there. We're going to go slap up and then here. There we go. We're nice and airborne. Delightful. You're wondering what that ATIS call was just a few moments ago. That was actually because of the fact that we were essentially flying, because of the way the frequencies in flight sim work, and they mix with the frequencies that are used.
International tower, good afternoon, we want to do 86 at Charlie Ford for departure.
We're just going to go ahead and take a nice gentle turn here. Altitude today is going to be pretty darn low, so I'm just going to kind of enjoy my little turn. We've got a lot of turbulence today in Connecticut, so it doesn't surprise me. But again, part of the fun, as I like to say.
Victor Brody Tower, runway 15 at Charlie 4 line.
Zulu Yankee Hotel, on downwind runway 15, we'd like to make a full stop.
There we go. If you're wondering why I just slammed on the brakes and lifted the nose up, it is because we were exceeding our maximum limit of speed there. You know, one of the tricky things you always got to remember whenever you're dealing with any form of jets, especially something this high performance, is it is very easy to blow the 250 knots. And we're actually under 5,000, so we're supposed to be going even slower than that. So it actually creates an interesting little combination of factors that we need to kind of keep into mind here. And we'll keep it right around 220 knots, which should be relatively simple for us today. There we go. Go ahead and take that nice gentle right turn. Don't mind the turbulence. It does that. Now, one of the fun things that my buddy, one of my students actually was asking is they're saying, hey, is the turbulence always this bad? Kind of a thing like that. And it's, I giggle at that because it's one of those things where, you know, at one point it would have been like, hey, the turbulence wasn't too bad.
Clear for the option on the burning left coast traffic.
There we go.
Clear for the option left coast traffic.
Yeah, see, nobody can talk today. Everybody's tired.
How we doing?
Woo! This is bumpy. Oh my gosh, come on. Oh my gosh. You know, it's funny. I'm a jet. Like, this should not be this bumpy. You know, one of the things we can't do, of course, is we can go ahead and now tweak things. So we can go to the settings. And
I'm just trying to acknowledge what you just said. And I understood that I'm clear to make a full stop, runway 15.
Oh, basically, what's going on here is it just kind of...
Before the cross from...
All right, I'm going to go ahead and pick us up when we get a little closer. All right, so what we've done is we've just requested a touch and go.
Bradley Tower, aircraft type.
Say again for 100 Papa Golf?
10 Papa Golf, Bradley Tower, say aircraft type.
Aircraft type is a Lima 39er. So what we're doing now is we're just kind of doing the initial exchange. One thing they did do, of course...
7354.
7354. 100 Golf Golf.
Bradley Tower, Skyhawk 30 Papa.
We have to be very careful of our speed now.
30 ground, thank you for help.
So the turbulence is terrible.
Take Victor on course, departure approved, runway 24, clear takeoff, wind 20013, gusts 22.
Clear takeoff, runway 24, 128 Victor, thank you.
Zulu Yankee Hotel, clear to runway 15.
Wow, this is turbulent.
Contact ground. Contact ground.
That's 121.9.
This guy's so nice. I love this guy.
2.9. Okay, thank you.
So what we're waiting for now is basically for instructions. And we have a traffic pattern up.
Radar contact 14 miles southwest, 3,500, same attention.
100 Papa Golf, requesting touch and go with closed traffic, and then followed by a full stop.
100 Papa Golf, I remember. Enter a left downwind, runway 24.
Left downwind 24, 100 Papa Golf. So what he's done there is he's given us clearance to go into the left downwind for runway 24. And one thing we do have to do is we have to slow down. We're going way too fast. There is a very strong wind from behind us, but that does not give us the excuse to go ripping into this pattern at these speeds. It's just kind of one of those things. So what we're going to do now is we're basically going to start a descent into 24. He's made left traffic. So if you look off the nose right now, you can actually see runway 6 sitting there. And what we're going to do is we're going to come in at 1,800 feet directly over the tower. We're going to go left, 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 and he's going to clear us, and he's going to go ahead and give us all those permissions. Whoa! This turbulence is something else. So what I'll do is I'll pause us, and I'll wait until we get a little tiny bit closer.
Thank you, Seattle.
All right, we're just about in a position. We're at the traffic pattern altitude of 1,800 feet. We are a turbojet aircraft, not a turboprop, if I messed that one up earlier. And of course, what that means for us is it just takes more room to do everything. But believe it or not, it's relatively easy. The turbulence today is terrible. It's probably...
Friday information called back down current, Delta 3043.
Should probably go check to see what the new data is, kind of a thing like that. But man, is it bumpy. We can already see some traffic kind of making its way in that general direction. Probably heading down to take a left turn into the international terminal. So one of the nice courtesy things to do is to make a call when you get to midfield, and just to let them know that what you'd like. The reason that's nice is it's not that they'll forget you. Trust me, they know. It just sort of helps just to kind of keep them organized, kind of what you were intending. Bradley Tower, 100 Papa Golf is midfield for runway 24, requesting touch and go.
100 Papa Golf, runway 24, clear for the option, wind 200 at 13 gust 22.
Clear for the option, runway 24, 100 Papa Golf. So what they've done is they've cleared us for the option. What the option refers to is basically gives us the choice of what we want to do for our landing here. So what I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to start slowing down drastically. We're moving very, very quick here. One of the great things about being high-performance aircraft is that we have the ability to basically pop them out. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to kind of come out this way, once we've done that, we're basically going to take our left, like we normally would, kind of a thing like that, and go ahead and slow us down. One of the great things about these jets is you have all these great tools for getting this thing to a normal speed, and it does not take much to get it to a normal speed. One of the challenges, though, is because we are a very, very high-performance aircraft, we basically have to come out of this at the correct speed that we need to be as we're kind of rolling like this here. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit of power. About 200 kilometers an hour, and we're just going to execute pretty much a standard turn here. There's no surprises. For those of you who've seen me fly this one before, it's a very, very easy jet to fly. There's really very little mystery involved. We do need to tighten this turn up quite a bit, though, so I'm going to be very careful. This is our coffin corner. Oh, there we go. That looks pretty good. Go ahead and double check to make sure everything's in place. We're good to go. And one thing I can say is we carried way too much fuel for this flight today, but that's okay. Stick my head up. One of my students calls that one booster seat. Whee! That is one heck of a crosswind. So option, like I was saying a few moments ago, basically gives us the ability to decide which choice we would like to use here. In our particular case, wow, I'm actually really going to have to push the left foot here. So our option, we're going to be doing a touch and go for the first one, and then we're going to do left traffic, and we're going to come to a full stop. And then we're, of course, going to request basically heading over to ground there. Getting a little low, it's okay. Wow, this is bad. I've got my left foot probably about 75% of the way forward here. This is very rough weather. See someone taking off on the other end. That's okay. Getting a little low. That's okay. Woo, crosswind. Woo, crosswind. Nice. That counts as one. Again, keep those crosswind corrections in all the way up. And we're on our way. Just like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and zip up to our altitude that we had a few moments ago. If you recall, that's about 8.
Make left traffic.
make left traffic, 100 Papa Golf. So basically what they're doing is just giving us a heads up saying, hey, make sure you make a left traffic here. And if they did not specify, again, they don't know necessarily if we stopped. They're basically going on what they just saw go ripping out the window of their little control tower just a few moments ago. And there they are right there. So left traffic, of course, we can basically turn whenever we want to because we have about 300 feet to go. So for me, what I like to do, and especially with aircraft like this and turbulence like this, I'm just going to let the plane just sort of fall on its own to what it needs to do here. And that'll work pretty well. Bring the power back in. And just like that, 1,800 feet. Oh, man, is it turbulent today. I love this. There it is. We're going to make a left traffic. And full stop. So what we're going to do now is we're going to keep right around 1,800 feet. We're going to take this left turn. Again, there's our left downwind. Remember, we're doing instead of 1,200 feet, we're going a little higher because we are a turbojet-powered aircraft. There we go. Looking pretty good. Oh! This is not a good day to fly. That is for sure, my friends. That is definitely for sure. All right, we're just going to kind of chill down this way. I'm going to look out my window there. I see the tower. He's looking pretty cool, calm, collected. Probably a little less than I am because he's down there and I'm up here, kind of a thing like that. Go ahead and drop down to the correct altitude we're supposed to be holding. Now that, my friend, is some of the worst turbulence I've had in a while.
100 Papa Golf, runway 24, clear to land traffic, holding position on the crossing 1 right.
Little in, runway 24100 Papa Golf. We'll keep an eye out for the traffic. So we're waiting. Traffic is waiting.
427 rolling up short on 15.
Number 48427, right tower runway 15, line up that way.
So what they're doing here is, oh no, the puppy dog. So what we're going to do is do a short approach here. And the reason we're going to take a short approach is basically for the purposes of making it so that guy doesn't have to sit around waiting for us to come around here. So what I'm doing is instead of taking it all the way out that I had a few moments ago, I'm just going to kind of keep it kind of close in. Bring the power back in just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and sneak off to the left here and kind of come in for final. One of the things you'll notice there is I did not call midfield. The fellow who was working on tower did a great job. And like I said, I didn't feel like I needed to tell them because they didn't tell us. But like I said, it is always a good recommendation to call midfield just to sort of let the guy know that you're there and kind of let them know. One of the things we did when we first came in, you probably noticed, is also notify them the fact that we were going to be doing a full stop after the first one. So if you remember the first time, he went ahead and gave us clearance for the option. This time he gave us clearance for he basically said cleared to land, which means full stop. So that's what we're going to have to do today. All right, kind of give it nice and easy. I'm going to give myself a little booster seat here. Whoa, this turbulence is bad. This is bad. Oof. Oh my gosh. That is terrible. So what he's going to do now is he's going to give us clearance. He's going to say turn next taxiway, or he's going to say contact ground on 121.9 or something like that. So that's what I'm going to get ready for, just in case he does call us for 121.9.
Number 427, turn right heading 280, runway 15, clear to takeoff.
Right, 28015, clear takeoff, 48427.
Here it comes.
120, Papa Golf, contact ground 121.9 and take a
121.9, 100 Papa Golf. Thanks for your help today. So what we're going to do now is we're going to completely exit from the runway. Very important point here. This is a real world as well as VATSIM. And cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip over to Bradley ground. And I'm just going to go ahead and get my handy dandy chart ready. So I'm ready to copy. So there's going to be a lot of instructions. And this is part of the reason I love stuff like this. Like I said, he's probably going to give us right on Bravo cross 19er.
and 5 Uniform Alpha. What is your altitude you like today?
I'd like anywhere from 5,500 to 7,500.
It's considered Bravo, by the way. We're just going to wait until they finish the conversation there. So what he's doing right now is he's actually filling out a flight plan. Bradley ground, 100 Papa Golf is on Bravo, requesting taxi to signature.
100 Papa Golf, taxi to signature via Charlie, hold short runway 15.
Taxi to signature via Charlie, hold short runway 15, 100 Pop Golf. Yes, I said Pop Golf. So what he's done is he's given us clearance to do this. Now, one of the interesting things here.
155 Uniform Alpha, maintain VFR at or below 2,500. Departure frequency is Unicom, squawk 4774.
Now, one of the things that makes this such an interesting experience today is in the real world, runway 119er, which is the runway we're about to approach in just a few seconds, is no longer a runway. So if you're wondering why they told us to go ahead and head to 15,
Give me a shout when you're ready for taxi.
so now, another thing you have to be very, very cautious of in times like this is the fact that the taxi diagram that we have, if you probably noticed the big taxi sign that they had on the right side, said Bravo. This is actually Charlie in the real world. So one of the things you have to do is double check to make sure you have the appropriate diagram for it. KPDL airport diagram. Very, very, very important that you have that. That is a common mistake. And a lot of them will be out of date, so you always want to just double check that, especially if you're one of those folks like me who doesn't buy like the latest and greatest nav data or anything along those lines. So we're in Charlie right now. We were actually back on Charlie Alpha there, and 15 is coming up in just a few seconds. I'm just going to go ahead and show you what it looks like as we're kind of wheeling towards it. 15 is this guy right here, and this is the one they've asked us to hold short of. So again, we're just kind of cruising around on the ground to sort of get into that particular position. All right, we're approaching runway 15.
Or I'm sorry, 100 Papa Golf, cross runway 15 at Charlie, make the right on Sierra, hold Charlie 24.
Cross runway 15, take a right on Charlie, hold short 24, 100 Papa Golf. Always
Papa Golf, it's going to be a right on Sierra.
right on Sierra for 100 Papa Golf, thank you. Sorry, I was already on Charlie. He gets it. All right, so we're just going to confirm there's nobody coming before we cross it. Looks good to me. All right, let's go. Now, if you look carefully, it says Alpha. So Sierra is coming up in just a moment here. So they said right on Sierra and hold short of 24. So I'm going to check to make sure I'm not cautioning any traffic. This is a high sensitivity spot. This is high sensitivity spot number 1 for those of you who have an airport diagram handy. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice gentle right turn. And we're just going to hold short of 24 until he gives us some more clearance to do so. Now, depending on who your controller is.
00 Papa Golf, cross runway 24 at the air, make the left on Delta and then Delta 2 in the parking. Good night.
All right, cross runway 24 on Sierra, and then take a left on Delta, 100 Papa Golf, 2 signature. That's it. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to confirm that nobody's here. I'm going to look to my left. I'm going to look to my right, just to make sure everything looks good. And then we're going to cross Sierra. Now, first one that's coming up here, this is a Sierra that we're currently on. And right on my left here is going to be Delta.
155, correction, ground 1550 from Alpha is ready for taxi.
So Delta's coming up right here on my left.
November 155 Uniform Alpha, just stand by just for now. I just have another aircraft pulling into signature.
Stand by 155 Uniform Alpha.
Just looking to make sure there's nobody there. What we're going to do now is signature is this guy right over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take that right turn that you see straight ahead. And one of the things that will probably surprise you is the fact that the people who modeled the airport didn't model that ramp, even though it's clearly visible. Just kind of one of those silly things that happens. And of course, because the chap is waiting for us, I'm going to be a little bit quicker than we're supposed to get here. But again, that's part of the fun, as they like to say. Go ahead and gently hit the brakes. I'm going to go ahead and take my right turn. And all I'm going to do is get myself all set up. You can see that there's a turboprop, and I think that's a Cessna 172 basically waiting for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of his way by basically taking a left turn here. All right, let's get out of this guy's way just in case. And just like that, we are out of the way.
November 155 Uniform Alpha, runway 15 taxi via Delta 2, Delta Sierra, Sierra 3.
So as you can see, it's pretty much the same experience, regardless of whether you're taking a helicopter or you're taking a regular airline or a propeller. The important thing that you have to kind of keep in mind, and again, is you're much faster. So because of that extra speed, you have that little extra altitude in the traffic pattern, and obviously leave yourself a little more wiggly room because you're going to be ripping through it very, very quickly. But other than that, enjoy.